everybody here. We're ready.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Will Bauma, and I am the MPP for Brantford Brant. It is so great to be here with you today, and for our special guests, a huge welcome to Brantford Brant, home of the world's first telephone and call, and of course, birthplace of our very own Wayne Gretzky, the great one. We are proud of our reputation of being Ontario's tournament capital, with our shared values of excellence, fairness, and friendly competition. Businesses also are opening and expanding operations in Brantford Brant, creating hundreds of new, well-paying jobs. It is great to see so many community leaders to gather here at Massily, Brantford for this announcement. To the senior leadership team at Massily, thank you for having us here today. It is businesses such as you that are the backbone of Ontario's economic future and helping Ontario and leading the country being Canada's economic powerhouse. Without any more delay, I would like to call up Brantford Mayor Kevin Davis to say a few words. Your Worship.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here at Massily Industries, and I want to begin by thanking our hosts for welcoming us today and for the important role you play in our manufacturing community. I'm honored to acknowledge Premier Ford. Thank you for being here and your government's support and continued support and commitment to strengthening our local economy and, of course, the Ontario economy. I'd also like to recognize our MPP. He's been a strong advocate for Brantford and Brant County, whose leadership and partnership make moments like today possible. Today's announcement is more than about an investment in machinery or infrastructure. It's a vote of confidence in jobs, innovation, and economic resilience right here in Brantford. Massily Industries is a great example of what modern manufacturing looks like in our city. Forward-looking, export-driven, and deeply rooted in the local community. And although the company clearly is export-driven, it's also demonstrating something that I think is equally important in this period of a slow-motion trade war. It's the ability to identify and capitalize on emerging opportunities within our domestic supply chain. That adaptability strengthens both our economy and the broader provincial economy. So we're proud to be here to help Massily grow, compete locally, and continue to adapt in a changing trade environment while creating and sustaining good-paying jobs. From the City of Brantford's perspective, this is exactly the kind of partnership that we want to see when the province invests in local employers. It strengthens our entire community, our workforce, our supply chains, and our confidence in the future of Ontario-made products for Ontarians and Canadians. And I want to thank the Massily team for believing in Brantford as a great place to invest and grow. Your success helps drive our city forward, and I'm proud to be here today to support you. Once again, a big thank you to the Premier, MPP Bauma, and the Government of Ontario for recognizing the importance of advanced manufacturing right here in Brantford. So I'll now pass the torch over to Garnet Lasby.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm Garnet Lasby, the President of Massily North America. Thank you, Premier Ford, Minister Fedeli, Mayor Davis, and MPP Bauma for joining us today. The Massily Group believes in the strength of Canadian manufacturing and the strength of metal food packaging. Over the past 30 years, our team here in Brantford has worked tirelessly to provide world-class metal packaging across North America. Today, with the support of the Ontario government, we're investing in a more resilient and self-reliant food supply chain in Canada. This project is a major milestone for our company and for the Canadian agri-food industry. It is a made-in-Canada solution. We're using high-quality Canadian steel to make packaging for high-quality Canadian agricultural products. This ensures the food on Canadian grocery shelves is supported by Canadian industry from start to finish. We're also looking to the future of our planet. Metal packaging is infinitely recyclable, making it the most sustainable way to preserve food and reduce waste. By manufacturing locally with Canadian steel, we reduce the carbon footprint associated with moving material and transporting empty packaging across long distances. This is a win for the environment, it's a win for the economy, and most importantly, it's a win for the Canadian consumer. In Ontario, we grow the food that feeds the country. Now, we're ensuring that we have the world-class materials to package it right here at home. Really want to thank the Ontario government for your partnership, for creating the competitive conditions that allow companies like Macilli to grow, innovate, and lead. We look forward to seeing Made in Ontario cans on every shelf across the country. If I may, I'd like to hand it over to Minister Victor Fedeli.
Yeah, that was good.
Great stuff. That was beautiful. I loved his speech. I'm stealing some of those lines, Garnet. I just want to warn you.
Now, Minister Fedeli, please help yourself.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be back in Brantford to mark yet another milestone for our manufacturing sector alongside Premier Ford, MPP Bauma, and Mayor Davis. Today's announcement is a testament to what can be achieved when industry and local leadership come together with a shared ambition for growth, resilience, and success. To MPP Bauma, we thank you for being a steadfast advocate for Brantford's business community and, quite frankly, for first introducing us to Macilli. This is on you. So thank you, Will. And this is a real desire to support Ontario in our efforts to strengthen critical supply chains by anchoring their manufacturing capabilities here in southwestern Ontario. Your community says thank you to you, Will. The reality of what this project would mean for Ontario set in when we visited Macilli's headquarters in France. There we met Thomas, the fourth-generation CEO of his family's company, who walked us through Macilli's history. It's fascinating. Their roots trace back to 1911, when Thomas's great-great-grandfather purchased an old mill in eastern France and began recovering tin from tin plate waste using an early method of electrolysis. Now, that mill where we were still stands today and is the headquarters of Macilli's operation and has been for 115 years. And that continued success of their state-of-the-art operations is a symbol of resilience, quality, and a true commitment to their community and to family. Seeing Macilli's operations firsthand helped us understand what their long-term vision for Ontario would mean for our food industry, our economy, and above all, our workers. So to Thomas, to Garnet, the entire Macilli team here in Canada and in France, we thank you for choosing Ontario as an extension for your family. In these uncertain times, we could not be more excited to see steel can production expanding across Ontario. This is exactly what the Premier has talked about, making every nut, every bolt, every widget that we use right here in Ontario. This will secure supply chains, improve self-reliance, and bolster resilience in Ontario. So to give us the details and to share his vision for Ontario, it's a real honor to invite Premier Ford to the podium.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister Fedeli, for those kind words. I have to tell you, and Will knows this, Vic flies all over the world. I don't know how you do it. One day you're in Asia, next day you're in France, then you're here, you're there. So God bless you, and it's great to be back here in beautiful Brantford, with alongside my absolute champion, MPP Will Bauma. We're fortunate to have him here, and along with Mayor Davis. Mayor, you're doing an incredible job as well. I want to thank Garnet. When I came through the doors, I smelt printing, and it just made my heart pitter-patter. We're in the roll-to-roll printing, not sheet-fed, but I've been in about 3 million sheet-fed places, and I just so impressed. It's a beautiful smell in here. It is, and the entire team at Macilli team for having us here today. Thank you. You know, I always said we have to start onshoring as many products that we can. And this is exactly what our announcement is today, is making sure that we can make tin cans right here. I talked to my friend, the CEO over at the Fasco, Ron Bedard, absolute champion, and he said, it drives me crazy, Doug, that we're shipping tin to California in some examples, other places, getting it formed and bringing it back into Ontario, basically empty. And I think, you mentioned that. Just imagine all empty cans coming across the country. It doesn't make sense. So we're onshoring as many products as we possibly can and bringing great jobs to Ontario. As President Trump continues to threaten workers here in Ontario with tariffs, economic uncertainty, our government is delivering on our plan to protect Ontario. And I can tell you, folks, we don't have to take a backseat to anyone. We sure the heck don't have to take a backseat to President Trump. It's a plan to build a provincial economy that is more competitive, more resilient, and more self-reliant, so we can stand up to tariffs, economic uncertainty, and anything else that comes our way. Through our plan to protect Ontario, we're building infrastructure, cutting red tape, keeping taxes and fees low, and investing in workers. And Vic, that's his number one selling feature. We're pro-business government, a beacon of hope, as they tell you, and making sure that we create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and invest, not in our province, but in the greatest people, the smartest people anywhere in the world, and we'll compete against absolutely anyone out there. We're saving businesses and families $12 billion each and every single year, and saving 1.8 million working hours. So rather than filling out, 3 feet of government paperwork, you can reallocate those folks to be more productive than filling out government paperwork. These are savings that companies are investing back into Ontario operations to expand their facilities, purchase new equipment, and create good-paying jobs. Folks, when you're in government, you have two simple things. The majority of governments out there, municipal, other provincial, federal government, they believe in one thing. Let's tax the businesses and people to death. That doesn't work. We have a different philosophy. Think of this. Never raised a tax on anything in this province, and we saw more revenues jump up by $70 billion. Our theory is put money back into people's pockets right here. The hardworking staff that work at Massili, put it into their pockets. They might do something as simple as going out for dinner, buying their kids sneakers, putting an addition on their house or renovation. The worst place you can put your money is in the government's pockets. And the same thing for businesses. I know as a business owner, you put money back into businesses, the first thing they do, invest in their people, into technology, into infrastructure, buying a brand new piece of printing equipment, which I absolutely love, and that creates more jobs, more economics. Folks, this is economics 101. I still can't figure out how governments around our country just don't get it. And I'll tell you why they don't get it. They've never had to meet a payroll. They've never looked at a P&L statement. They've never had to look at purchasing. Well, we take a different approach. We're bringing a business approach to government. And we're seeing the results. We're welcoming record investments, including $28 billion, creating 56,000 jobs in last year alone. Like Brantford's own Ferrero Group, and everyone knows Ferrero, you drive by, you can smell that beautiful chocolate, who announced a major investment to expand their company's production facilities right here, creating 500 more jobs for the entire region. Since 2019, Ontario has welcomed over $213 billion in investment to Ontario and has created more than 1 million jobs. Folks, there's 1 million more people working today than there was when we took office in 2018, because the previous government taxed companies to death, and all you saw is red taillights heading south to the border to open up there. Now it's switched. Companies are investing in Ontario from all over the world. And this didn't just happen by accident. It's the result of the hard work done by our government to create the conditions for businesses to prosper and make Ontario the best place in the G7 to invest and create jobs. We're also doubling down on more than $220 billion. It's a plan to build, which is the largest plan to build in Canadian history. And no matter in hospitals, right here, which we're going to get to in a minute, we're spending over $60 billion on 50 different sites, building our healthcare system. We're building roads and we're building bridges and highways, and we're investing in schools. As the previous government closed 600 schools, we're spending $23 billion on opening more schools, and actually right here in Brantford, Brant. You know, we're investing $44 million in Brantford here to complete critical upgrades and repairs at the Brantford General Hospital, including redeveloping the emergency room to increase capacity, and we're investing another $15 million to support the planning, it's a planning grant, and the construction of a new state-of-the-art hospital in Brantford, Brant, to ensure families in this rapidly growing region can access the care they need when they need it. Mayor and Will, thank you for championing that as well. You're both incredible. We're investing $23 billion over the next 10 years to build, renew, and improve schools and increase child care spaces, including the new Southwest Brantford Public Elementary School, which will welcome 650 new students later this year, and the new Southwest Brantford Catholic Elementary School, which will add 513 new student spaces in the community. And this is what you get when you have a champion like Will Boma sitting at the table, jumping up and down. And when this big guy jumps up and down, you pay attention because he's doing his job. He's saying, I need to take care of my community. And of course, we're making record investments to get shovels in the ground faster for new homes. That includes more than $12 million for the city of Brantford through our municipal housing infrastructure program to support access to safe drinking water, housing construction, local businesses, and ensuring community infrastructure is more resilient in the event of extreme weather events. Which brings us here today, where I'm thrilled to announce our government is supporting an investment of $85 million from Masili to expand their operations here in Brantford. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Whenever the economy is contracting,
this investment will see the company open a new state-of-the-art facility to produce cans for food packaging, creating 50 new good-paying manufacturing jobs, and protecting 228 existing jobs as Masili diversifies their operations and strengthen Ontario's world-class food packaging industry. Our government is pleased to support this expansion with a $5 million investment through our Ontario Together Trade Fund, which is part of our nearly $30 billion tariff relief plan to protect Ontario's economy by helping businesses build capacity, expand into new markets, and bring production back to Ontario. As the cost of tariffs impact families and businesses, it's never been more important to bring manufacturers like those in the food and beverage production back home, support our local farmers, support our local growers, and keep essential industries where they belong in Ontario. Today's investment is a game changer, not just for Brantford workers and families, but across Ontario's manufacturing supply chain, which employs 830,000 people. To support companies like Masili, our government will continue cutting taxes and red tape and make Ontario the most competitive, resilient, and self-reliant economy in all of G7. I want to thank everyone and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now take questions from the media. Media can come to the microphone and state their name and outlet. Just a reminder, the format today is one question and one follow-up. First question.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi, Premier. Al Sweeney from CHCH in Hamilton.
Hi, Al.
I just wanted to ask you.
Thank you for making me Maker of the Year, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thank the bosses. That was amazing. The only media that ever did that. So you're going to get a big plaque in my office.
That's great. Thanks. So I wanted to ask you about Donald Trump and his latest throwing this thing out there of 100% tariff on Canadian imports. What would be the impact on Ontario?
It'd be a disaster if he did that. But I got to remind President Trump that just Ontario alone, 9 million Americans wake up in the U.S., and I love the American people, by the way, and they love Canadians, wake up to produce a product, a widget, a service for Ontario. It would devastate their economy. We're the #1 customer in the entire world. We buy more products off the U.S. than anyone else in the world, and vice versa. They're our #1 customer too. And I go back to, what Ronald Reagan said. When you put tariffs on countries, it kills the economy. It has never, ever worked. It never will work. And they're seeing it down in the U.S. So we're going to focus on what we can do, and we can do a lot of things. We can build anything here. So no matter if it's making tin cans or looking at our nuclear energy that they're in desperate need of, or our critical.
This is the most relaxing game in
Sorry
2025.
about that.
Life science, agricultural, food sector, which is the largest sector in the country, and
I
obviously
must have got a
our
little
auto
bit
sector as well.
long-winded here.
Okay, thanks. One other question for you on a different topic.
Yes.
Environmental groups in Hamilton, there's opposition growing among them to the idea of consolidating the conservation authorities into 7 or 8, I believe it is. They are saying that it's just a backdoor way to get development on greenbelt lands.
No.
What do you think?
#1, no one's developing greenbelt. We tried that, and I'll go to my grave saying there's certain parts of it that you can. But anyways, it's done, right? We're moving forward. What I'm saying, and you just ask anyone in this room, do you think there should be 4 conservation areas in Hamilton? Doesn't make sense. Let's strengthen it. Nothing's being cut, by the way, but they need to focus on watershed. That's why they were created, for conservation, not four different conservation areas for one city. It's absolutely crazy. So we brought in the expert of all experts. I put him against anyone in Canada. He was a conservation boss, let's say, over in Halton. The guy's well known, and he's saying there's tons of waste. Again, I'm going to emphasize no cuts. We're going to enhance programs. We're going to work with communities, and we're going to do what the Conservation Authority was put there to do, is make sure we conserve and we watch the watershed. That's why they were created, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're the only, by the way, folks, we're the only jurisdiction in the country that have conservation authorities. The only place, actually, let me rephrase that, North America. So I think the Minister of Natural Resources and Minister of Environment do one heck of a job. But we have them. We're going to work with them.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vincent Ball of the Brantford Expositor. I was fascinated by the process that Minister Fedeli mentioned. Can somebody explain to me how this all happens? Somebody comes up with an idea, somehow the connections are made. Can somebody take me through that process?
Well, I'll start, then I'm going to hand it over to my expert, Vic. I sit back and my brain's going 1,000 miles an hour. I find out, I talk to food companies and talk to guys like Ron Bedard over at the Fasco that's saying he's shipping all this tin down to California and other places, and it gets shipped back empty. So I talked to Vic and I said, let's look at the largest tin can manufacturers around the world. Let's give them an incentive. Let's bring them here. Let's onshore every product we possibly can. And then I unleash the dog here, and he goes at him like a pit bull, and he finds who does it. And thank God, Massili, an incredible company, as you heard, started in France and have a beautiful operation here. And then that's how it moves. We approach these companies, offer them a pretty good deal, and they decide if it's worthwhile manufacturing or not. So I'll pass it over to you, Vic.
Had to do my only dog impression that I could. Look, there's not much to add to what the Premier said. He's absolutely right. The Premier has said repeatedly, there's no reason in the world why we can't make every nut, every bolt, every widget in Ontario, make it right here. So he starts with that premise, and you've heard him talk about the fact that we need cans made here. He said that months and months and months ago. We should have these cans made in Ontario. And then around the table, at the caucus table, a guy like your MPP, Will Bauma, hears that and says, hang on a second, I'm going to go have a meeting with a guy that I think can do this, and invites us to the meeting. We meet, we start to negotiate, We go to France, we meet the owners, we get the feel of what their company's all about. So it starts with the kernel of a thought from the Premier, great MPPs at our caucus table who jump in, and we just go and clean up the details. That's how these deals happen over and over and over. You know, in 2024, the new 2025 stats aren't out yet, but in 2024, Ontario landed 409 international companies who invested $40 billion and hired 24,711 people. So that's what happens when you work together.
I'm wondering if somebody from the company, Mr. Lasby, perhaps can say something about what prompted you to make this investment? What made the company want to go in this direction?
Absolutely. We are a global can manufacturer in Europe and other places. So it's a bit of a natural evolution for us. We've established in Canada in 1996 with an investment in the twist-off closure manufacturing, the precursor of which is steel. And we're located here close to Hamilton because that's the steel center. We have the processing for the steel, which is required to make twist-off caps, and it's the same pre-process that we need to make metal food cans. So it's a bit of a natural evolution for the Masili Group to look at this market development. And then with encouragement from the fine folks at the province who had identified a need in the agri-food ecosystem, a lack of domestic food can manufacturing, they approached us and said, we would like this to happen. We look at it as an opportunity and something that we have a very unique and specialized skill set in. We look at the business case for it, presented from the need side and from our own manufacturing side. And with the support from the province, we decide to make this significant investment in a product that we know very, very well, that we know that Ontario needs, that will support the Canadian agri-food business.
Thank you.
And I'll just add, before we do that, we go out and we talk to companies that use a tremendous amount of cans, and they get it from the U.S. One, I'm going to give a shout out, great company, Primo. Primo Pasta, Primo Sauce, incredible company. And so we talk to them and a dozen other companies. We add up the total amount of cans, and then we present it over to companies like Masili.
This will be the last reporter.
Good morning, Jamie with City TV.
Hey, Jamie.
Oops, hang on. Okay, real quickly, Metrolinx. We're looking at the management missteps there. The crosstown, basically a non-functioning Finch transportation system. You're looking at all those problems that Metrolinx has. 60, I forgot how many vice presidents they have. Then you also look at the TTC. TTC this morning did not confirm the date that you had suggested that the crosstown will be open. Is it time to take a holistic approach at the TTC and Metrolinx, and can we do better?
Yeah, we can always do better, continuous improvement, but let's be fair. Michael Lindsay just was put into Metrolinx. He's doing a tremendous job, and if you talk to anyone, Jamie, this guy is as sharp as a tack. He's changing things. But when you do a transit system, there's 4 people involved. There's the City of Toronto, the TTC, there's Metrolinx, and then there's the provider that puts the heaters in and does the changeover. And has there been bumps in the road on Finch? 100%. But let's be a little fair, and we had the largest snowfall in the history of Toronto. They had to clear the tracks. We have to make sure when they clear the tracks, they get right in there manually, not just with the heater cord that they put in there. But we're going to get it going. And as Eglinton Crosstown, we'll hopefully get it open on February the 8th, but that's strictly up to the TTC. We've handed all operations on Finch and on Eglinton Crosstown. We're going to get open and go move February 8th. But do you know what I'd love, Jamie? I know Jamie, I love him more than anyone. But what Jamie should be saying, it's incredible that the province is doing the largest transit project in North America. We've never seen an expansion on so many different subway trains and GO trains. We're doing the Eglinton Crosstown, finally getting that nightmare out of the way, but it goes from one end to the side of the city to the other. We're doing Eglinton West. That was actually...
We get it again.
going underneath a city the size of Toronto. And then we're building a subway for Scarborough for the first time in the history of the city. Then we're extending Yonge North all the way up to Richmond Hill and Markham. We're doing the Hamilton LRT. We're getting the Hazel McKellian LRT done, and we're expanding GO service all over the province where GO goes. That's the real story. There's always going to be hiccups when you start off a line, but we're doing an incredible job investing $80 billion, with a B, $80 billion and leading North America in building more subways than all cities combined. New York, Chicago, LA, Dallas, all combined. So yes, is there hiccups? Yes, can we do better? That's our goal, continuous improvement. But thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for that. Mr. Premier, the next question is a little more difficult. I originally asked it when we first found out about the deal with ICE purchasing armored vehicles from Ontario. Now that with all the
ahead. I'm going to correct this story once and for all, Jamie. I heard it on the news. I don't direct companies to go sell military vehicles down south or around the world. What I believe in, the federal government should be buying military vehicles built here, built in Mississauga, built in London, to make sure that we buy them here for our military. Again, we did not buy these vehicles. I didn't know about these vehicles. It's very similar if Masili sold cans somewhere, ABC. I don't know that, and nor should I. We don't have anything to do with what crosses the border. The question is, if you want to talk to the federal government that controls the borders, that controls trade, I don't know where this came from, to be very frank with you. It's like it's on social media, and we all know that everything on social media is 100% accurate. Well, I know. It's a terrible thing, that social media. But anyways, I had nothing to do with it, and we should be buying military vehicles off that company there, and our friends in London as well.
Thank you very much for that. And just one pineapple pizza, your thoughts?
Yes.
Pineapple pizza.
I don't know. That's a Edmonton thing. The Prime Minister liked that pineapple, and yeah, no, I'm just a veggie guy. But anyways, with the Prime Minister, folks, we're going to agree to disagree on a lot of things. We're a big family. Make no mistake about it. It's Team Canada, 100%. With your family, but we come out united. We're going to move this province forward. We're going to move this country forward. We have a strong plan to protect the communities and protect jobs, and making sure that we protect the people. That's what we're here for. That's my number one job, is to protect the people of Ontario, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a great meeting with all the premiers I talk to on a daily basis. We're going up to Ottawa on Wednesday and Thursday, and we're united. And it doesn't matter if you're from the green, the orange, the red, the blue party. We're going to speak from one song sheet, because we're under attack now by President Trump, and I'll fight tooth and nail to make sure that we protect everyone.
Thank you. This concludes today's press conference.
That's great.
All right, so there you have it. You leave your comments and suggestions, ideas for this press conference, and we'll be back. You guys have a good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.